how to love Kṛṣṇa and act for Kṛṣṇa only. This is the perfection of human life. So, in human society, there are 4 different kinds of human beings by nature. Brahmanas, or intellectuals, Kshatriyas, or warriors and administrators, Vaishyas, or business people and farmers, and Sudras, or servants and workers. You find these 4 types of people everywhere. So, you cannot tell the Brahmanas not to be intellectual. I mean, you can tell them, but it's not going to change their nature. Similarly, you cannot tell the Kshatriyas not to fight. It's their nature. Just like you cannot tell Vaishyas, no, don't make money, become renounced. They won't listen. Or you cannot tell Shudras, no, don't take intoxication, don't get involved in illicit sex, it will only bring you difficulty. Or you can tell them until you're blue in the face, but it won't stop them from acting that way. That is human nature. So we see this fighting principle is there in material nature everywhere. There are 4 principles of material existence: eating, sleeping, mating, and fighting. And these are present in all animal species and in all societies of human beings, everywhere you go. So there's no question of stopping fighting. But no matter what section of human society we belong in, whether intellectuals, warriors, businessmen, or servants, there is the possibility to change our consciousness. And how do we change our consciousness? Well, the esoteric teaching shows us that by changing our ontology, or our story about how the world came into being, why it exists, and what is our purpose in life, then we can change our consciousness. We can change the meaning that we give to our experience. And by doing that, we can dramatically expand our possibilities in life. Just like a person who is very, very intent upon getting to a meeting, they can go through beautiful fields of flowers and never see any of them. They're simply thinking, oh, I must get to this appointment. I have to be there on time. But a person who is not in so much of a hurry, who is not so driven, so obsessed, will stop and smell the flowers, will see the beauty, will appreciate that around me are so many beautiful flowers, and I can enjoy them. Why not? So similarly, in this material life, we are always pressured by these 4 demands: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And because of this, we hardly ever give any importance to our spiritual experiences. Nevertheless, we're having spiritual experiences all the time. But because we don't know what is spiritual, we have no stories about, for example, the real nature of consciousness, the real nature of our existence in this material body. Therefore, we miss the spiritual experiences that we do have. Why? Because we are obsessed with our material needs and our material activities. But are these material activities really helping us? The fact is, every time we do something in this material world, we create karma for ourselves. So as a result of this karma, we again have to take birth in this material world and suffer the 3-fold miseries of material existence. The 3-fold miseries are Adi-daivik, means coming from the demigods, Adi-atmik, coming from our own selves, and Adi-bhautik, coming from other living entities. For example, last year we had a big hurricane, Kṛṣṇa, and that is caused by the demigods. The weather is controlled by them. And when we don't execute religious duties properly, the weather gets weird, violent. There are storms, floods, landslides, all kinds of improbable events. A couple of years back, there was a hurricane in the southern hemisphere. It hit Brazil. That's not supposed to happen. But it did happen because we are not executing our religious duties properly, and the demigods are displeased. So they will cause all kinds of problems, you will see. global warming, and so on. Adhyatmic means that a lot of times we create our own miseries. We don't eat properly, or we don't sleep properly. We don't exercise, or we don't take care of ourselves in different ways, leading to long-term conditions, chronic diseases, and so forth. Or we do stupid things, driven by lust or driven by our obsessions with different material things, thinking that we're going to get happiness out of them. We do stupid things that result in our getting in trouble or even thrown in jail or something like that. So this is adhyatmic miseries. Because we don't take this esoteric teaching to heart, and we don't become free from the need to take a material body, we cause ourselves to take another birth in the future. That's really adhyatmic. That's caused by our own stupid actions. And then there's adhibhotic. Well, we all have experienced suffering at the hands of other people. And there are difficult people in this world who seem to exist only for the purpose of giving others a hard time. That is everyone's experience. So adhibhotic miseries are those coming from other living entities. Then there's also flies and mosquitoes and various kinds of germs that like to infect our bodies. And these are causing us misery. So in this world, there are three main types of misery. Adhidivic, coming from the demigods, adhibhotic, coming from other living entities, and adhyatmic, caused by ourselves. And let's not forget old age, disease, death, and finally rebirth. Now, these are all different kinds of suffering that we're going to have to experience if we stay in this material world. So, how do we get out of this material world? Well, we have to stop creating karma for ourselves. Because the karma, good or bad, means we have to take another body in order to experience it. So the way that we stop creating karma is to dedicate our activities to the service of the Supreme Lord. This is called karma yoga. Karma means activities of cause and effect. And yoga means linked up with the Supreme Lord. So karma yoga means activities that are dedicated to the purpose of satisfying the Supreme Lord, Kṛṣṇa or Vishnu. These activities have to be in line with our own nature. Otherwise, it will be impossible to perform them. Now, there are some spiritual activities like chanting the holy name, offering our food to God, performing religious ceremonies of different kinds, and these are for everyone. But then there are specific duties for different kinds of people. For example, the brahmanas, or intellectuals, their duty is to teach. They write, they speak, they produce artifacts like these podcasts, temples, they design different types of worship, they teach people the principles of spiritual life in so many different ways. These are the duties of the brahmanas: to know the scriptures, to realize the supreme truth, and then to teach others. The duties of the kshatriyas are to manage society very nicely and to fight. But they should do this for Kṛṣṇa. They should do it according to spiritual principles as given in the Shastra. That will create a nice atmosphere so that we can all recover our perfect bodies. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of My Perfect Body. This is David Hughes, your host, reminding you to visit us on the web at esotericteaching.org, where you can purchase the complete Esoteric Teaching Introductory Seminar DVD and many CDs of transcendental music and mantras.